sports world, your must-see international sports network.
A trip to Old Trafford. Now that's just what you don't need when you've yet to win or even score a goal away from home all season. But that was the challenge facing Aston Villa. And to make matters worse, Rio Ferdinand returned to partner Laurent Blanc just 3 weeks after knee surgery. That one of two changes to the Manchester United side that defeated Olympiacos in midweek, ensuring the club's progress in the Champions League. A slight knee injury to Ryan Giggs gave a first home start to Diego Forlan this season. 19-year-old Stephen Moore was handed a Villa debut. Graham Taylor making 4 changes to the side beaten by Southampton on Monday. Moore partnering veteran striker Dion Dublin up front. Ian Taylor and Øyvind Lane Hartson were brought in to strengthen the midfield. With just 4 points from the last 5 games and 275 minutes since their last Premiership goal, Taylor didn't need to be reminded that Villa hadn't won at Old Trafford since 1983. Commentary from Rob Hawthorne.
Taylor's ball a bit short for Staunton. It was Scholes who was in the way. Now Forlan with Solskjaer in the middle. Scholes has made a good run as well. And here is Scholes. Now Veron. Phil Neville. Scholes. Oh! Well, he scored a storming goal here in the home match against Everton, and he was looking for some sort of repeat then. Now Moore, Kinsella, Delaney. Laurent Blanc. And Villa get the corner. And the two Manchester United players just looking a little out of sorts at the moment. Sometimes it does need them to go a goal behind to give them the necessary. Can Villa manufacture that goal here with Kinsella's kick? Oh, it is a flying header! And what a way and what a place to score your first goal for Aston Villa. That's just what Olaf Melberg has done. He got the better of Laurent Blanc, got in front of the Manchester United defender and arrowed his header past Barthez and the man on the line. Silvestre. Laurent Blanc. Phil Neville. And here's Beckham. And a good hit by Beckham off the bar. And when the chips are down, they could normally look to this man to bring them back into it, and Beckham so very nearly did. The desired response has been brought. And this is where Villa are going to have to be strong defensively. Solskjaer. It's Beckham's cross. Forlan! Well, that first Premiership goal just will not come, will it, for Diego Forlan? Beckham. Solskjaer's flick. Forlan! And again he's denied, this time by the goalkeeper. And it's become a familiar sight, the cursing of Diego Forlan as he seeks that elusive first Premiership strike. Beckham. Forlan, well won. Good strike as well, but yet again Enkelman is well placed. 3 attempts now in quick succession by Diego Forlan. None with the desired result. Veron. Forlan. Gary Neville. His fortune. Scholes. And Silvestre. And again Mikel Silvestre finding his time. Forlan! Hallelujah! It has happened! A first Premier taken 24 attempts, but after 3 near misses in the first half, Diego Forlan finally registers his first Premiership goal. David Beckham. It's Gary Neville who comes in around the back and who gets the corner off Gareth Barry. No doubt about it, it's going to be a last nervous 5 minutes for Aston Villa, plus stoppage time. Beckham with a kick. Away by Crouch. Scholes. Back in by Beckham. Solskjaer! Good save. A sweetly delivered ball onto the head of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer by David Beckham. But wonderful reactions. Forlan. Perron's cross. Gary Neville's header. J. Lloyd-Samuel. It's more drop points at home for Manchester United, but Aston Villa steady the ship with a 1-1 draw here at Old Trafford. Olof Mellberg scoring his first goal for Villa, but Diego Forlan finally breaking his Premiership duck to get the point for United with a second half header.
I'm delighted for the boy, because what he has shown through all that period is his perseverance to carry on. He's had 4 attempts to goal, 3 in the first half. He could have scored a hat-trick today. But he keeps going, and you've got to admire that. It's a wonderful attitude he has to it.
Always strikers want to score. Well, that was not happening, so I would always try to be the same training and try to, when I have the chance, try to do the best for the team.
For all of the corners and free kicks, attacking free kicks that we've been getting, we've not been scoring from any. And the answer was there today. So, you know, there's a lot of pluses for us to take out. But it's like everything. Come Monday or Tuesday, it's all over. And we have to look forward then to the next game, which is away to Blackburn Rovers next Sunday.
Later we're off to St Mary's Stadium as Southampton met Fulham. That's after Steve completes his roundup.
The talk of the tune was Newcastle's win against Juventus to keep alive their hopes in the Champions League. But despite conceding 5 goals at Blackburn, Irish goalkeeper Shay Given was recalled in place of Steve Harper, who'd kept a clean sheet in midweek. Bellamy and Dyer were still absent through injury. Bramble preferred to dab his ass. Speed against the post. Last weekend, Charlton had climbed off the bottom of the table with a 1-0 victory against Middlesbrough. This week against North East opposition, they were bidding to score their first away goal in nearly 6 hours play. Plenty for Sean Bartlett to shout about. The South Africans' first goal in more than a year. O'Brien and Bramble both had chances to clear. 1-0 to Charlton after half an hour. It was to prove to be Newcastle's wake-up call. Suddenly, more urgency, more commitment, more determination. Andy Griffin had been dubiously credited with the Geordies' winner against Juventus, but no question about this one. Set up by Shearer, blasted in by the fullback. Charlton's big threat came from central midfield, a trio of Parker, Mustoe and Jensen. A fine save by Given. Bartlett silenced. So Bobby Robson called on wide men Solano and Robert to make sure Charlton's defenders were fully engaged. Playing 4-4-2 against Charlton's 3-5-2, the role of Newcastle's wingers was becoming greater and greater. Laurent Robert was pleased as punch, his first goal of the season. Alan Shearer was chasing his 100th Premiership goal for Newcastle, but it was strike partner Shola Amiobi with the best chance to put the result beyond doubt. Amiobi denied by Kiley. Charlton had been outmanoeuvred.
You remember they hadn't played anything like the football we played in midweek, where this team and these players just give absolutely more than everything they had. They give a bit extra to win the match, Now we've come up again later, 3 days later, less than 3 days later, and again had to fight for a performance and for a result, and they've done it, and I just compliment our players. I think they're fantastic. I think they've done wonderfully well.
They called it the greatest shock in World Cup history. Against all the odds, the little team from North Korea became giants of world football, defeating the mighty Italians and sending them tumbling out of the tournament. They eventually fell to Portugal in the quarter-finals, but played all 3 of their group games in Middlesbrough to etch themselves into the hearts of the people of Teesside. They returned for the first time 36 years later to find things very different, including a shiny new stadium in the place of former home Ayresome Park. It was a day for nostalgia at the Riverside. Former Borough manager Terry Venables returned to the club he saved from the drop 2 seasons ago, but this time in charge of Leeds. The Yorkshire club had reportedly targeted Steve McLaren for the job, so this fixture had plenty of history. Before kick-off, the North Koreans were given a hero's welcome by the Riverside crowd. 7 surviving players and the coach, Yong Rye-hyun. For Pak Do-ik, it was the chance to turn back the clock and relive his famous winner. Come 3 o'clock, all eyes were on Leeds to see if Terry Venables could mastermind Middlesbrough's downfall. This match was passionate and full-blooded, not one for the faint-hearted. Greening's challenge symptomatic of what was to come, as Borough reorganised. Their former midfielder Nick Barmby chested down for Mark Viduka. Penalty given. Ekyog, the guilty man. Schwarzer against fellow Australian Viduka. 1-0 to Leeds. Middlesbrough had risen to 3rd in the table after 3 successive wins before last weekend's hiccup at Charlton. This match gave them the chance to recapture those dizzy heights. Job's 3rd of the season, assisted by Cameroon international Colin Jeremy. Credit too to Southgate for the sliding pass, the officials correctly giving the goal with Job onside. Steve McLaren's team was one of just 5 with an unbeaten home record this season. Their defence was the hardest to breach in the league, an average of 1 goal conceded every 2.5 hours. But Leeds cut through them twice. A 3rd goal of the season for Lee Bowyer, all of which have come away from Ellen Road. Kuehl's shot proving too hot for Schwarzer. El Tel's thoughts will turn this week to Hapoel Tel Aviv, Leeds' opponents in the UEFA Cup. For now, though, Leeds needed 100% concentration on Borough. Jeremy hitting the bar. Fans in this part of the northeast are hoping for sunnier times ahead under McLaren. But as the match entered the final 15 minutes, a red mist seemed to be descending on Teesside. Gareth Southgate recognised an England colleague was in trouble and appealed to referee Rob Stiles to show leniency. But Alan Smith received a 2nd yellow card, sent off for the 8th time in his career. Seven minutes to go, a Middlesbrough corner. Southgate with the equaliser. Just his 2nd ever goal for the club to make the scoreline 2-2, the same score as last season when Leeds were twice in front. Into the final minute, a match that will no doubt be the subject of much debate by the FA's disciplinary committee. This time it was Franck Coudreau in the ref's bad book. Astonishment all round, both sides down to 10 men. The pre-match goodwill and nostalgia clearly didn't translate to the players, but while the match 36 years ago will be remembered as a classic in world football, this one was marred by George Boateng spitting at full time. Incident-packed and a thriller, but a match that'll be remembered for all the wrong reasons.